again. Another black person getting killed by the police. It takes forever to get answers. Why? And all we keep hearing is we want to be transparent with the community. We want to work with the community. This is not working with the community. This is working against the community. This is making us angry. It is making us hate the police more. And I'm tired of it. I love this boy like he was my brother. It's hard. I can't sleep. It's hard to eat. And this officer, he gets to go be with his family, and it's unfair. I just released the video footage. The truth is the truth. That's all I gotta say.
In life, when the police take somebody's life, there's nothing you can do to replace that. So you see the devastating effect it has on families and communities when police steal a life from our communities. There's nothing you can do to replace that. So we need to see, again, we're here to demand all body-worn cameras on the officers who killed Howard Johnson be released immediately, and any dash cam video also involved in this situation. Next, we're going to bring up Juanita Lingwa. Okay, we'll wait a minute. Next, we're going to bring Tanya Medved.
This is my nephew. He's not blood, but I've been there since he was born. I've been here since his oldest brother was in Pampers running around. Regardless of him being bad, we all have something in our closet. That little boy had a heart. He loved his family, and he cared, and he would do anything for his family. I don't get to hear my nephew tell me, I love you, TT. I miss you, TT. I don't get to pop up at my house unexpected to drive me crazy and make me laugh because he's so silly. We have to miss out on all this because of the police. I was there yesterday morning as soon as I woke up out of my sleep and took my children to school to see my nephew's blood, hospital gloves, tapes full of blood, on the ground still after 12 hours, more than 12 hours that my nephew got killed, 8 blocks from my home. My kids didn't want to go to school. My nephew doesn't even want to go to school because they're scared of the police. We shouldn't be like this. Police are supposed to protect us. They have failed me as myself and my kids multiple times. And now they're failing these black men that don't even get a chance to see 25. My nephew would have been 25 this year, coming up. And that's a blessing being a black man in the United States. He left Mississippi and told me, TT, I came up here to be with my mom and my other family, and so I could live. He got 2 twin boys, 4 years old, that have to grow up now without a father and be scared of the police because that's who killed their father.
In front of them.
It's not fair. We need justice. We need answers. All these black men this year that have been killed still ain't getting their answers because these white police want to kill our black men. And it's not fair. They get to go home and see their kids, watch their kids grow and have kids. Guess what? My nephew don't get to do that. My sister is having to bury her middle child because of these lousy police that's supposed to protect and serve our community. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep fighting until all these black men get justice. Because this is bullshit. This shit is eating me alive. I can't sleep knowing my nephew got killed by the police. And then they roll by smiling and waving. This shit's not funny. And we're gonna fight as long as it takes until we get justice and these police go to prison. They're getting it on a gold platter. When you guys put these police in jail, they get a special unit. They're not with everybody else so that they could get fucked up for killing these black men. They're getting it on a golden spoon. Now let one of us kill someone. They want to give us life. They're not going to let us out that easy. Just because they got a badge, you guys are giving them free passes like my sister said yesterday? To kill and get to walk? That's not fair. We need justice. Y'all need a better background check. You're giving these stupid people pistols, but you want to take them off the streets. Why do you think they carry pistols? Because they're fearing for their lives. You've killed people in cars with kids in it. Where's their justice? They're mentally messed up and have issues now because of what they've seen, because nobody wants to do nothing about this mental health either.
Yes.
We want cameras, we want answers.
Again, just to reiterate, we are here to demand all body-worn cameras are released today, right now. There should be no reason why we haven't seen the dash cam video or the body camera video. Juanita Lingwall is going to come up and say a few words.
Hi, I'm Holly's cousin. And I just want to say, in this time with all this negativity, I just want everybody to understand that my cousin was a real person. Regardless if he had a background, regardless if he had a ward, my cousin was a person that had a family that loved him. And we just want answers. However we have to get them, we want answers, and we need answers today. This is not another situation that's just going to be brushed under the rug. We need answers, and we need them today. And just when the community thinks, just think of us as a family as a whole, regardless of what they're trying to make him out to look like this monster. They lie. Nobody knows the truth. Nobody knows Howard. Just like nobody knows this police officer that took my cousin's life. So what I'm asking for right now is the community to understand that my cousin was a young black man. He did have a past, but he's still a person. He did not deserve what happened to him. And we need people to stand with us on this so that we can start getting some justice for these black men. Thank you, baby.
And again, we talk about black men's past, but we know the St. Paul Police Department has a past. We know from Cordell Handy that the St. Paul Police Department has a past. We know from Marcus Golden that the St. Paul Police Department has a past. Mark Henderson. Justin Tigan. Joffrey Smith. And the list goes on and on. So if we want to bring up people's past, we could talk about the past.
Yeah, for real.
Right? But we're talking about what happened at the moment Howard Johnson was killed by the St. Paul Police Department. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about what happened when he was killed at that moment. So again, we're not talking about good guys. We're not talking about bad guys. We're talking about justice and transparency. We have Howard Johnson's brother here. Let's embrace him. We're happy that he's strong enough to get up and talk to you after what the St. Paul Police Department did to his brother. So we're going to hear from him real quick.
From the womb to the tomb, my brother, my backbone. He would do anything for us, anything at the drop of a motherfucking hat. Brother. Ride around with him. And he was gonna love it. He was a people person. He could put a smile on anybody's face. Anybody. He could fit in with anybody. He had so much love in his heart, and so much care, so much ambition. You deserve more. More, and we want answers. I want to know why. Why did you take him from us? He can't come back. He can't walk around and do anything. Nothing. My little brother. I used to sleep on my mom's stomach when she was pregnant. I would feel him kick and move in her stomach. And all I did was try to live and walk with him in his life and show him something. And be more. I want to know why.
And see, that's the impact that police violence has on the black community. And we keep going through this over and over again. Trauma 1 is like when you experience trauma one time, but trauma 2 is like trauma that keeps going on every day, every hour. And that's what's happening to black men and black people in the United States. We're dealing with trauma that's been going on for 400 years, and we have to address it and put an end to it right now. We want to hear from really powerful woman who also has the strength to get up. This family has the strength to get up today. And I know from experience, when you lose a loved one, especially when they're killed by somebody, that it's hard to get out the bed. So Howard's mother, Monique, is going to say a few words. And please be respectful of her.
You can take your mask off. You can take your mask off.
My voice is gone. Take your mask off. Howard was my love child. He was my protector. He loved his family. He loved his kids. He was a jokester, but he also didn't play about his family either. He was kind. He would do any and everything that he could possibly for anybody. I remember one time I had gave him $1, right, and we rode by this homeless person standing on the corner. He said, Mom, can I give that person this $1? I said, of course you can, baby. And I told him how proud of him I was for having such a big heart. My son did not deserve what he had got. I want justice for my child. I want justice for all the black men that have been killed by police. I want the video footage from the businesses that were there, from the the cops' cams, from the dashboard footage. I want it all. I'm entitled to that. That is my child. I deserve to know what happened to him. We deserve to know what happened to our family members. We deserve that much. Give that much to us.
Thank you. And are there any questions for the family?
Yes, I would just like to know a lot of preposterous stuff that they put out on the social media about this young man. We're still trying to wrap our head around these allegations that they made against him, indicating that this was some type of domestic, then from a domestic, a carjacking, and then from that, running him over with a vehicle, shooting him in his abdomen, and then later on we found out he was shot in the back. So we're just trying to figure this all out.
None of it makes sense.
And
A lady this morning, I watched it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I heard. I watched it. She said he wasn't aiming at nobody. He was putting it up in the air. It's Josh. He wasn't aiming at nobody.
and we don't even know if that's true. So I until we see a body until we see a body camera footage, I heard her, but I don't know until we see a body camera footage that shows him with the gun. I can't even say he had a gun.
Right.
So, but also as far as a domestic, we know the police are involved with domestic violence more than anybody in America. But they don't get shot in the back. They don't get chased down and killed in the middle of the street or ran over by cars. So we need the police department to practice what they preach. Stop beating your wives before you come and try to kill some black person.
Not to mention, but they didn't know that was my child when they rolled up on him and they hit him with the car and then they shot him. They didn't know that he was Howard Johnson then. They didn't know he had a warrant. They didn't know he had a warrant. They didn't know he had his past. They didn't know nothing about none of that.
So
I think the biggest thing that needs to really be said is that none of us know anything.
right.
That's the biggest point. I think that what needs to be understand is all the information we have, all the information that we're getting from you. So I understand you want to ask us questions, but to believe it or not, we probably need to ask you questions. No one has reached out from the mayor's office. No one has reached out from the city office, the city attorney office, the police station. Nowhere. Any calls that have been made have been initiated by us. A lot of them by me. You know what I've been getting called? We'll take your number. We'll give you a call back when we can. Nobody has called us back. The only timetable that I have been given about anything is 60 to 90 days. The BCA told me that it will take 60 to 90 days. Then the videos will be released to the DA, and then at some point we will be able to look at them. But it may not even be then. It may be extended if they decide to press charges or not. So all this time, the community, the family, all of us, we don't have any opportunity to see the raw footage, the first footage. We need to know. They're asking us to trust them at a time when we don't know who to trust. We seen what happened to George Floyd.
Come on.
We trust them then.
Right.
We seen what happened to a lot of people out here. So what we need to do is just, all we're asking, all we're demanding
That's right.
is that they release the footage today, now. They have that power. The BCA said they can do nothing for us. That the only people that can release this footage is the mayor's office and the chief or the sheriff of police. So that's all we ask.
So, yeah, we want people to act, and especially those who say that they support what we support, then you should act immediately. Are there any more questions?
I was going to ask if there's been any communication with the police department.
No.
Perhaps another family.
None.
And would you mind stepping to the podium?
No, there hasn't been any contact. None. They haven't called me, nothing.
They weren't even gonna let her see her son.
No, they weren't. My husband had to call the medical examiners and talk to the supervisor because they say they normally don't let you see. They wouldn't let me see him at the hospital first and foremost. Then they wouldn't let me see him at the medical examiners until my husband called and told the supervisor, asked the supervisor, and the supervisor approved for me to come and see him. Because I'm like, how am I even going to identify him to know that that's my child? And that's the only way that I could see him. And then I also want to say that I didn't say that my son has twin boys. Their names are Jalen and Jaden, right? And they're going to grow up without a father.
Did they see what happened?
Yes, they did.
I don't. So I've been hearing some, like my husband said, we don't know nothing except for what we hear from y'all and what we see on the news. I don't know. That's why I want the footage so that I can see what happened to my child, and I can stop guessing and listening to what everybody else is saying. But they did say, Grandma, my dad got shot. I don't know how they found out. I don't know how they knew, but they know. But they don't. One thing that they don't know is that they're never going to see their daddy again. That's one thing that they don't know. And they love their daddy so much.
He was so good.
Good, bad, and ugly, they still love them. It's not fair. Release the footage. Please.
Do it for his kids.
What?
I think the biggest thing is just we want to hear from family, because we've only heard from police. Do you know anything that might have been happening on Monday, or anything that might have been happening in the hours or the minutes that led up to that moment?
Doesn't matter.
Nothing.
I don't know. I talked to him the day before, but I hadn't talked to him that day.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
See, that's the problem. We're so conditioned by, oh, you did this wrong, so we get to kill you. That's the conditioning. That's not factual.
So regardless
Like,
of my son's past,
it doesn't matter.
present, or you have no future, but regardless of his past or his present, when he was still alive, does not justify the fact that they killed my son.
No, it doesn't matter.
Can we get your husband's name?
I'm sorry?
Can we get your name, sir?
Kenneth, man.
Can you spell that for us, please?
Kenneth, Kenneth, Manning, Manning, like paper, without the paycheck.
So you mentioned that you haven't heard from police, from the mayor, and that this isn't helping mend community relations when they're not communicating with you.
Exactly.
No.
What would you like to say to the community now?
We just want to thank you. First off, we thank all of you, members of the community, the family, for standing by our side and help supporting us at such a tragic time. And just continue to cry out. Your voice, your vote, what you say matters. They look at us as just one individual family, but they can't tell the whole community.
That's right.
No, they can't tell the whole community. Wait. So we need you. We need us. We need the community to stand up by our side and demand that they release the video. I mean, if what they say or they believe to be true is true, then show us.
Yeah, that's it.
Show us. It shouldn't be a delay. And more importantly, reach out to us, the family.
That part.
For God's sake.
It would be nice to get a call like now,
Yesterday?
Right.
Yes.
the day of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we want to say to the community. We just want to say, continue to help us cry out for the video cam, the video footage from the body cam and from the dashboard cam, so we can have
from
some
the
closure.
stores.
And from the businesses.
From the businesses,
Yep.
from anybody that was walking by with their phones. We want to know what happened. We want to know what happened. We want to have some closure. We want to have some understanding. We don't want to be left months on end guessing, because we have to unfortunately lay Howard down for peace, and we would like a little peace ourselves. That's the Lord.
Yes.
That's right,
Thank
baby.
That's right.
Can you share your relations with Mr. Johnson?
Share your
I'm
relationship.
a stepfather, and I know he was 24 years old. He was an adult. He was a great kid, man. You hearing a lot of emotions and a lot of raw energy and love, and we're not trying to accuse anyone, even though we are asking for answers. We just want to understand. We want everyone to understand our plea, right? Right. He was a great father, man. Howard was a great father. You can say what you want to say about him, but what you would never say is that he wasn't a good father. He was there for those kids for every moment that he could be. He would do almost anything for them kids, man. That's what I imagine most about him. He was much better father than I ever was at his age. Much better.
How long have you known Howard?
Been 4 years now.
And what was your first impression of him when you met him?
He had a great smile, man. He had a great smile, and he, see, I'm a little short, and he's bigger than me, so, but, man, he didn't do nothing to show me love, man. He respected and he loved that I was there for his mother. They had a tough time that we both was going through at the time, and, that was the smile. He had a great smile.
What would you want people to know about Howard that they might not know?
That he loved her, that he was a good father.
I got you. Come on.
Good heart.
And he was funny.
And he was funny.
He was funny.
What's Howard's brother's name, sir?
Keith Johnson.
I got her.
And this is his other mother, you might as well say, right
Yeah.
here.
She took care of him for a long time.
Took care of him for many years. She would like to say something.
All I know is I keep hearing Howard calling me, Grandma, well, I try to sleep. When I go to the bathroom, he's calling my name, and I don't know why. So something ain't right there. I don't know what it is. He just keep calling Tanya, Grandma. I saw him that day. He was okay. I don't know what happened later on. All I can say is, what we have in common is, although we're not together, our hearts are still connected. That's all I can say. Oh no. Yeah, I need to sit down. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
Does the family have some photos of Howard that they'd be willing to share for us to use in the newscast?
Yes. Yeah.
Here's the shirt.
I got this shirt. He's
Most recent picture.
You can also like get with me after the press conference, and I can have a photo that I can release to you.
Yeah.
I also would like to know how could the community support the family in any way that we need to? And I know it's gonna be funeral arrangements and everything, and the community wanna support you all by any means necessary.
Come stand behind us. Help us fight for this.
Is there a GoFundMe page or anything?
We haven't put up a GoFundMe page yet. We are going to. But the GoFundMe page is going to be for the twins, which is Jalen and Jaden, and those are Howard's children. And we might also need some aid and assistance with the funeral arrangements and things. But
primarily it'll be for the kids.
Yeah.
Try to get a trust fund or something set up for them. And 100% of the money be used for that.
Exactly.
Or for putting them to rest.
Yeah.
We have any more questions?
Is there anything else you want us to share, or you want us to know, or want this community to know?
There's no justification for misrepresentation.
That's right.
We want the video.
That's basically, we want the video.
Yes, we're demanding that you guys release.
We need
Mayor Carter We need Mayor Carter to move. He's the mayor of St. Paul. He's over the police. We know that they have the capacity and they're able to release the video footages because we've seen it in the case of Dante Wright, where the community all went over to Brooklyn Center to demand that they release the video footages. They did it the next morning. So we don't want to continue to hear that we have to wait 60 or 30 days or 90 days when we know that they're simply able to release these footages. We need Mayor Carter to move, and we need him to move expeditiously. We need him to move now. We're in a state of emergency here in the state of Minnesota with these killings of Black men. We can no longer trust the police narrative. That is the place that we're at, and we have to face that. We cannot continue to mosey around, play around with people's hearts and feelings and families and emotions. We can't do that anymore. What would you do? How would you feel? No matter if your loved one was right or wrong, your family deserves answers. Our families who have lost loved ones at the hands of the police here in the state of Minnesota, we are re-traumatized. Everybody deserves answers, specifically this mother and his family that is hurting. We are urging Mayor Carter to move now.
And we shouldn't have to go, there shouldn't be, like, buildings shouldn't have to be set on fire or just any type of thing like that for people to just release a video camera. If do what you got to do in your heart. Imagine if it was your child.
That's right.
If that was your child, you would want to see what happened to him immediately. You wouldn't want to hear you got to wait 90 days to see something that you know can happen today.
What's going to change in the video in 90 days?
A lot can change in the video in 90 days. Right.
Like you release it today or you release it tomorrow. What's the difference?
And that's the thing about it to us. You know, we know the longer from our side as a community, we know the longer it takes for the video to be released, the longer it could be doctored, the longer it could be edited, things like that. So if the quicker it's released, the quicker we will know the truth.
That's right.
So that's what we're asking for, truth, transparency, and we want the community to be, first off, we want the family who hasn't even been able to see the video to be able to see the video immediately. We know, like, was it Ronald Davis? Mm-hmm. That video came out with like 24 hours?
Yeah, when they felt that Ronald Davis was in the wrong or attacked the police, they released the video footage right away. Wow. So if there is nothing to hide, If it's all honesty, if they feel that Howard did anything wrong, all the family wants to do is see that so they can have the closure that they deserve. That's all. And I think that it's wrong that the mayor's office, as well as the chief of police, has not reached out to the family. That's completely wrong. You know that your officers, no matter the circumstances of the situation that occurred, you know that your officers were involved, and you know that a human being lost their life. So with that, this family should have been contacted the night that it happened. And if anything, they should have been contacted yesterday. There is no reason why the only contact that this family has had is from our community, from us, the activists, and the other impacted families in the community is the only ones that have reached out to this family. And I have personally reached out to the mayor's office. I have personally reached out to the St. Paul Police Department to see if they can reach out to either myself or other community leaders or specifically the family, and have gotten no. I got one call from someone finally this morning, but it's a shame. It is inhumane that this family has not been contacted by the St. Paul Police Department.
They won't respect the bills.
That's right.
Exactly.
Police claim there was a 911 call made. Have you guys connected with that caller, and do you know if they've spoken to police about what happened and have you been in contact with the caller?
No.
If they get in contact with the family, all of these questions would probably get resolved. The problem is that they know that this family is out here and they have failed to communicate to this family. So that's the whole problem. I got to talk to the family.
And I would like to thank all the news agencies for coming out and covering this and not running with a narrative that, if he was in a domestic situation, once he left the scene, that person is not in any danger anymore. So some reports, I can't go too far into it, said he was running through the neighborhood. So that's not, that doesn't matter anymore once he left that house. So what happened on Olsen Road at about 6 o'clock when he was in front of the saloon there. Hudson Road, when he was hit by a car and when he was shot multiple times, including in his back. So we want to know, why was he shot in his back? Why was he ran over by a car? First reports say he was doing a carjacking, but was he still doing a carjacking? Or is that still the narrative we're running with or not? So I don't think we're running with that anymore. So we see that in just from history. If we want to go back to the past, we know that the St. Paul Police Department story evolves over time. The narrative changes every few hours. So we just want to know. We're not concerned about, we hope that person is okay, and if they were harmed, our heart goes out to them. But what's important? What happened when he was killed by the St. Paul Police Department in those final moments, the last 2-3 minutes of his life are what counts. Even the last 60 seconds of his life is what we're concerned about. So we want to see the body camera footage right away. We don't want to hear any more talk about bad guys, good guys. We want to know what happened in those 2 to 3 minutes before he was killed. Are there any more questions? Thank you. And we're going to close out with Tashira is going to close us out with the Asada chant.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.